The Revolt of 1857. The Arabs controlled the trade route between India and Europe, and they sold Indian articles at very high prices to Europeans. Indian goods like silk, cotton, spices, indigo, etc. were in great demand in Europe. The European countries decided to find an alternative trade route to India. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese sailor, was the first person to reach Calicut in Kerala in 1498 AD. They were soon followed by French, the English, and the Dutch. These Europeans fought among themselves to control trade in India. In the struggle that followed, the British finally defeated the others. The English East India Company was formed in 1600 AD for the purpose of trade in India. The British continued to exploit the Indians for many years. The English drained the wealth of India. There were many uprisings, but the major one took place in 1857. The Revolt of 1857 is an important landmark in our struggle for independence. This revolt was this revolt has also been called as the First War of Independence, as it was the first time that all the sections of Indian society jointly revolted against British. Military causes. The Indian soldiers were paid very low salaries. They were never appointed to high posts. When the Indian states were existed, their armies were disbanded. Thus, the soldiers became unemployed. A new rifle unfilled was introduced by British. A rumor spread among the soldiers that the cartridges of the rifle were greased with the fat of cows and pigs. The Indians felt this was an attempt to disrespect their religion. Social and religious causes. Social and religious causes. The British regarded Indians as people of inferior race. They mocked at Indians' customs and religions. Indians were treated badly by British. The Indians feared that the British government was determined to destroy their religion, culture, and convert them. Economic changes. Economic causes. The Indian farmers were forced to grow indigo, a plant that gave a blue dye. This was used to dye clothes in England. The British policies affected out craftsmen also. Men also. The cotton and silk weaver were forced to sell clothes at very low prices to British. A large number of cotton textile mills was set up in England, and a lot of raw cotton was needed as raw material. The raw material was purchased from India at a very low price and sent to England. Clothes produced in cotton textile mills in England were brought back to India. The mile-made clothes were sold at a cheap price, which led to decline of Indian handloom industry. Indian weavers and artisans became unemployed. Political causes. The kings and nawabs were unhappy over the unjust law introduced by British. According to doctrine of lapse introduced by Lord Dalhousie, was that if the king died without a male child, Shah Zafar was declared the leader of the revolt. Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey, a soldier in British Army, refused to use the grease cartridge on March 29, 1857 at Barakpur in Bengal and was hanged as a punishment for disobeying the British. Result of revolt. As a result of the revolt, the rule of the English East India Company came to an end and territories were taken over the British Crown. The Indian rulers regained their territories. However, the final authority lied with the British. Like the Indian rulers were allowed to go in their territories, but they have to take the permission of British. The Governor General, also known as Viceroys, ruled over India on behalf of British Queen. Indians were allowed to hold public offices and were promised the freedom to follow their custom and religion. However, in practice, nothing changed. Uprising was undoubtedly a great struggle. It aroused a feeling of nationalism among the Indians and created an urge to be free from the British rule. Thank you for watching the video.